quite a few times how my uni life and my degree has been affected by the pandemic. So I thought I'd do a video on it to kind of present an insight into my university degree during the middle of a pandemic. First off, I would like to say that I'm extremely grateful to be able to be at home with my parents and my dog, that none of our family has had COVID or has COVID. So we're very fortunate in that sense. I don't want to sound like I'm complaining about my degree, I'd just like to present an insight into how things have changed. So, for those of you who don't know me, my name is India. I'm a third year music student at Royal Holloway, University of London. Although Royal Holloway is a University of London, it's actually in Surrey, so it's in a little town called Egham, and my student accommodation is in a village called Englefield Green, which is within walking distance of the university. However, currently I'm not actually at university, I am at home in West Sussex with my parents and my dog. So I've been at home in West Sussex since before Christmas because on the 5th of January England went into a national lockdown. So I just thought I'd present an insight into how my university experience has changed dramatically as a result of the pandemic. So we're currently paying £9,250 a year for tuition fees, but our lectures are all now completely online. We're not receiving a discount for this, which is really unfortunate, and I don't know of any universities that are giving discounts for tuition at the moment. As a lot of students are at home with their families, we're not living in our accommodation at university. However, we are still paying for our accommodation fees. So I know that some universities, such as Royal Holloway, are giving discounts to the first years who live on campus so that they don't have to pay for the accommodation that they're not living in. However, it's a bit more difficult with second and third years and fourth years because we're renting from estate agents, from landlords, and there hasn't really been much support provided. I know our university has tried to contact the landlords and estate agents and ask for discounts for students, but I don't know how effective that's actually been at the moment. It's a shame because we weren't really given a choice whether we could move back to uni or not. We were just told that by the government that we had to stay wherever we were when they made the lockdown announcement. So lots of our modules within the music department have been really affected by this. So I take a module called Practical Performance, which basically is my individual performance. So I do 2 recitals throughout the year, both of them are meant to be this term. So one was meant to be in January, so that got postponed and we're doing it online instead. So we're sending in like recordings of us singing our repertoire. And the second one is meant to be in March, but obviously we don't know, and the university doesn't know whether that's going to be taking place or not. Our individual singing lessons are also all on Zoom right now. It's actually not that bad having them on Zoom. I quite like it, but obviously it's a bit more difficult because you don't have an accompanist with you, so you have to sing it all unaccompanied when you're singing to your teacher, which is a bit more difficult. Then there's the module called Ensemble Performance, which essentially isn't really taking place at the moment. So we're meant to be doing 2 recitals, one this term, one next term. However, the one this term got cancelled. It was meant to be in mid-January, but obviously that couldn't happen because of the lockdown. And we don't really know whether the one in May is going to be able to happen. But what's most tricky about ensemble is that compared to like individual performances where we can practice on our own, ensemble we're meant to be practicing with our ensemble. So I'm in a trio, a vocal trio, and we can't really practice, which is really difficult because we're practicing our individual parts, but a huge part of ensemble performance is the communication and the blend of the voices and, you know, being together and just having a sense of togetherness, which can't really happen. You can't really work towards that when you're on your own. So that's definitely a challenge. It's something that we're still very much seeing whether we will be able to rehearse together or not eventually, because we did last term. We were allowed to last term, but this term we're not allowed to because of the lockdown. So we'll kind of see what's happening and we'll kind of find out later on, I guess. Then there's my music pedagogy module, which essentially teaches us how to teach music. So this term we were meant to be teaching someone one-to-one our instrument, so I was meant to be teaching someone one-to-one how to sing. However, that can't really happen and they're still very much trying to figure out how we're going to get around this issue, because we were meant to teach someone from our course, but obviously we can't really be with people from our course currently, and the department's working so hard with the performance modules and our pedagogy module, of how we can actually still participate in the module without being there in person. And I feel so bad for the department because they're trying really hard, and it is really difficult for them to just adapt to what the government is saying, because the guidelines are changing constantly, and it's really difficult for them to be able to adapt and plan the next few weeks when you don't know what's actually going to be happening. Then there's my written modules. So for example, I take 3 other modules: moving image, pop music and Purcell. Purcell was last term and it wasn't that badly affected. Our lectures were online but our seminars were in person. And now during this lockdown everything's online. So my pop music and my moving image modules are entirely online, lectures and seminars. At the end of this term we submit an essay, and then next term we'll have an online exam which is 23 hours long. As in, you have 23 hours to take the exam, you don't have to spend 23 hours on it. And for example, on the 5th of January, I think it was, yeah, on the 5th of January when the lockdown actually began, I had my first online exam, which actually went really well, so I was really happy with that. So another aspect of university life which has been completely altered is the involvement in societies. Our societies now have to take place entirely online, which again is really tricky, especially as all the societies that I'm participating in are performance-based. So for example, I'm in a choir, an opera-based society and a musical theatre society. So these have to all take place online, including our performances. So for example, this term we're doing a performance of Fame. This was for MTS. So we're sending in our parts individually and then it'll get put together into a video which we'll be able to watch. And for example, last term we did a showcase which is called In Your Dreams. It was a collection of different songs from musicals. It was really interesting to see put together because obviously we'd only really seen us singing it on our own, so it was really nice to actually see it all together and hear all the harmonies and how they complement each other, and that was really exciting. Another thing which has been majorly impacted by the pandemic is socials. So for example, our music society has 2 big socials a year usually. One which is the Christmas ball, which is like a huge thing. The other one is a boat party on the River Thames in June time, I think. But other societies are still holding online socials, which is really good. MTS do quite a lot of online socials, which is nice because then you can still keep in contact with people without being in close contact with them. Whilst most of these seem like negative aspects, there are definitely some positives that have come from the pandemic. For example, with the MTS online showcase, we get to rewatch that over and over again because it's not in person, we have a video recording of it, and it's much more accessible for people that aren't at the university. So for example, my parents watched it, and I think that makes a really nice change because usually lots of people from outside uni kind of have to miss out on the concerts. I've also been able to spend more time focusing on my music, so I've been writing a lot more originals. I always find that during the lockdowns I tend to be more motivated to write my own music. And on that note, if you don't already follow my Instagram account, I have a music Instagram called @IndiaLucyMusic, and you should definitely go check it out if you want to see more of my music. I do post music on here as well. I post covers, I'm hoping to post a lot more originals on here too, and I post quite a lot of collaborations, which is really fun to watch. So yeah, don't forget to subscribe to this channel and follow my Instagram account if you're interested in my music. I'm also finding that I have more time to focus on my YouTube and editing videos, which is so great for this channel. I haven't officially said it before, but I'm actually planning to post 2 videos a week. So on Tuesdays at 2 PM I'll be posting a music video, so either a cover or an original. And then on Saturdays at 11 AM I will be posting a chatty video like this, or a vlog, or like a little video montage, essentially anything which isn't an actual music video. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoy that. Another positive is that I get to spend more time with my family and dog. We go on dog walks once a day, which is really good for our daily walk, which we're allowed to do. And that's quite nice because when I'm at uni, because I'm just walking to and from campus quite a lot, that takes up quite a lot of time, and so I don't really have much time to go for walks myself just for fun and for exercise. Yeah, it's really nice to be able to get into the fresh air and go for walks occasionally, which yeah, is great fun. I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. If you have any questions, comment below. And also, if you're a uni student yourself and you have a different experience of university, comment it below because I'd love to see your experience of university and how the pandemic has affected you and your degree. NFE Music has had quite a big impact on our degree. But yeah, I'd love to see your insight into your degrees. I hope wherever you are, you're doing okay. If you're in lockdown, I hope you're dealing with it okay. Take time to yourself, take time to relax. You don't need to be working 24/7. I keep on needing to tell myself that because I'm constantly like, oh, I've got to be productive the whole time, but you don't. You can just watch Netflix for a couple of hours if you want to. That's completely fine. If you're feeling alone, don't forget to reach out to friends, to your family. I hope you're doing okay. Look after yourself. Bye!